The following is a special presentation of First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. This is the Baileyton Drug Company Jamey Palmer Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Jamey Palmer Show, where we cover everything out here on the Diamond Tundra with the North Greene Huskies baseball team. We'll recap the past 4 games and look ahead to the next 4 games on the Husky schedule. But first, before we do that, we need to get a quick word in from our sponsors first. So we'll be right back here in just a second here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Baileyton Drug Company Jamey Palmer Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, and the Baileyton Drug Company. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Jamey Palmer Show, where we cover everything out here in Baileyton with the North Greene Huskies baseball team. As always, I'm joined here with Huskies head coach Jamey Palmer. Coach, how we doing this week?
All right, Tyler. A little tired after a long night in Carter County, but doing okay.
We're out here on the Diamond Tundra this week. That was the dusty tundra last week. Yeah. That's turning into the desert tundra.
You're exactly right, Tyler.
We've not had much rain at all.
No, we're going to have to get the fire department to come over and wet the field and make sure the grass keeps growing.
I guess that's a good thing that we've not got rain, though, because that allows you to practice, and that comes with no postponements or cancellations. But at the same time, you do need some rain every now and then.
Yeah, well, I think we got a few sprinkles against West Greene the other night, but that's about it.
Yeah, you did get that game in on Friday. Unfortunately, the Lady Huskies weren't as fortunate. We got drenched over there on the south side of the county. All of our equipment and everything, we got drenched out there. But hey, wouldn't have it any other way about this time of year. I'm just kidding. I would have it another way. I'd rather have no rain, but that's what you get whenever you enter the spring months of March, April, and May. I joked about it with Coach Weems. Hopefully we get April showers and that brings May flowers, but sometimes April showers just bring more showers.
More showers. Yep, you're right, Tyler.
But let's look into the last 4 games also. We've got Cherokee, West Greene, Hampton, and Hampton. A 9-7 loss here against Cherokee on Thursday, and we'll start with that one. Very talented baseball club over there in Rogersville. Talk about that game on Thursday night when you hosted the Chiefs.
Well, coming in, we knew that they would, Coach Fraley would have them ready to play. They scored a few there, and had Aiden Halley on the mound, and he does a good job. He throws strikes, and that's what we were asking out of him. Felt like it was our best chance to put him on the mound. No disrespect to him, but he doesn't throw as hard as some of our other guys. We felt like after Cherokee seen Will Harmon throwing about 85 plus, we would bring somebody in throwing about 60, 62, and I felt like our chances were greater. And of course they were way out front of the baseball, and of course they had a couple good hits. Finally, about the 3rd or 4th inning, they started getting things going, and we made a few errors there that kind of hurt us. So we just got to clean those things up.
Moving into Friday, you get a win over the Buffaloes here at home, and a good win over the Buffaloes. A very competitive county rival the past few years, and what you could say is a friendly county rivalry. You win 7-5 in that one and avoid the showers that some of us got in other areas of the county. How good of a win was that on Friday night?
Tyler, that was a good win for us, not because it was over West Greene. Coach Osman, those guys do a great job down there. I felt like if there was any way possible we could get that one in, that would help us going into the Hampton series. And of course I was in touch with Adrian all morning. I was like, what do you think about this? What's your thoughts? Talked to Coach Lowe and Coach Dillon over here as well, because they're over here and I'm at the middle school. So, maybe the weather might be a little different. And just looking at the weather, there was a shower that was supposed to come through about 4 o'clock, a little sail come through, and I was like, let's see if we can start it at 4:30 and try to get it in. And luckily, the umpires were able to come in and earlier as well, so that really helped us. And, just getting back to the game, I felt like both of us, West Greene and us, were on, kind of a level playing field, so to speak. as far as wins and losses and stuff, and I felt like both of us needed a win. You know, so just getting to play that game, and fortunately for us, we came out on top. You know, they made a few errors, we made a few errors. You know, it wasn't a good, clean game for either team, so luckily we found a way to win.
And then that helped you propel into Monday, like you mentioned, where you hosted Hampton, welcomed them back into the conference, hadn't played them since 2023. And then in the first game that you welcomed them back for the North Greene Hampton rivalry, you win in walk-off fashion on Monday. Before we get into the actual game itself, I want to talk about the actual walk-off itself. Owen Pierce, to my understanding, wasn't dressed out.
He had his jersey on. I think that's a TSSAA rule. If you're in the dugout and you're a player or I guess an assistant or something, you have to have some type of jersey or color that you're wearing at the time that represents North Greene. Not 100% on that, but we have had some players here before that were hurt or something and were in the dugout, and the umpires would say you got to have a jersey on. So we've kind of tossed that around, myself and Coach Dillon. We've talked to Owen since he's got that nagging hamstring injury, and of course we used him in Cosby, and he re-aggravated it a little bit. So we're just trying to touch and go with him there. But it was a close game. We went into the bottom of the 7th, and Owen's like, before our first batter got up, he's like, what do you think? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So he, with the hamstring injury, struggles. So we send another player that's injured with his arm. He runs to the locker room and gets his pants and cleats. So by that time, we've already got 2 walks. First Tyler and Aiden walk. So we've got the tying run on second, the winning run on first. And of course I keep looking over. I was like, Owen, you ready? You ready? No. And you know, he's working it as fast as he can to get his pants on and get his cleats on. And of course now he's got to put his batting gloves on. So I think he was pretty stressed, you know, trying to get ready because the pressure was on him. So come to the umpire, made the pinch hit decision there, and explained to the umpire what was going on, and I felt like it took forever for Owen to get to the plate. I think time stood still just for a few minutes.
It's like Kirk Gibson walking up to the plate in Game 1 of the World Series.
Yes. You know, and Owen got in there, and I felt like he was mentally knew what he had to do. His job was do this, and I think it was either 2-1 maybe was the count. I
think you're right.
I think he fouled one off, and there was a couple balls.
Strike, ball, I think was the exact order.
And I thought, you know, no better player to put in this position, even though he's kind of somewhat injured a little bit. And I thought, man, if he could just barrel one up, hit one in the screws, so to speak, and see what happens. And sure enough, I think it caught them off guard, because they didn't know, you know, maybe he hadn't seen him, and he's not played much, so it's kind of hard to scout him from other teams. So he just got a good swing on it, and things worked out for us, Tyler. The stars were lined up that night.
And a special one for him also being a senior in a conference game like that. You want those seniors to be your leaders and to have that confidence, and he did. And he put a swing on it, and not only drove 1, drove 2 in.
Drove 2.
With a 2 RBI double with 1 out to win that game. So leading up to that, take me through that game, because it was a very low-scoring game. A good pitcher's duel. You knew that you would be facing Clark, and they only showed Clark for 3 innings in that one. So then you had the opportunity to take advantage in the 7th. Take me through that entire game.
Well, of course, like I said last week in the interview, we know Colby comes from a good background, good baseball background. We knew he would be tough. Kind of surprised us, really, or did me, that they pulled him in 40 pitches. You know, maybe it was it got him on a pitch limit, and I understand that. Or maybe he played travel ball that weekend. I don't know the situation there. but it kind of surprised me. And then, of course, they brought in their number 2, I felt like, which done a good job as well. And I don't know if that maybe lit a fire in us, maybe, as far as a team. But, you know, we finally were starting to get to Colby a little bit, putting the bat on it. Didn't have no hits, you know, but we were fouling some off, putting a few in play. And then they changed. So it's probably, you know, that was probably a good coaching move, I guess. But I think it helped us mentally at the plate a little bit, just to see a different pitcher and know that that was their number 2. And if we could get him over 25 pitches, we wouldn't see him on Tuesday. So, you know, just proud of our guys for the effort that they gave in that game and the never say die mentality. And, you know, everything worked out for us.
And then take me into Tuesday's game. Quite the opposite. Not only does the win turn into a loss and your walk-off turns to their walk-off, but it also goes from a low-scoring game to a high-score game. Total different games, and the locations change. You go from North Greene to Hampton. So what was the difference in Tuesday's game?
Well, I felt like we came out a little flat, Tyler. We struggled. They threw a lefty at us that was didn't have as much velocity as, you know, Kuhn or Clark, and we struggled with it a little bit early, not letting the ball get deep. We were out in front of everything. You know, hats off to their pitcher. You know, that's what he's supposed to do. Those strikes, had a little curveball, kept us off balance. It took us a few innings to get going, and I think it was 6-2, and we finally scratched across 5 runs in 1 inning. Had several hits. Isaac Jamey had a couple of hits. Christian had some hits. You know, just to see those guys go from struggling in a game and then, you know, fixing it the next at bat. That's what we kind of talk about, is try to get better at every at bat. You know, no matter who's on the mound, who you're facing.
And you get that first conference win on Monday, and we failed to mention that, but you lose 2 to University High, and then to get that one in walk-off fashion, to get one on the board. How important was it to get that conference win and to get that first one of the season?
You know, it's nice. It's nice to have that win and, you know, put yourself in a position to, you know, of course, UH, they're probably going to be the 1 seed. Now it's us, Unaka, Cloudland, Hampton for the 2. I think Unaka and Hampton have split, so us and Hampton have split. So the series coming up next week, Monday, Friday against Unaka is going to be key for us. So, you know, I think our boys, when it comes down to it, I think we'll be ready.
And then going into next week also, well, actually going in to this week, you've got South Greene on Thursday and Friday before you start that pivotal series with Unaka on Monday. We'll talk about those in just a minute, though. We'll take a quick 2-minute commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk about those 3 games here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
Baileyton Drug Company services the surrounding communities of Baileyton with excellent patient care using a full-line pharmacy, over-the-counter selections, and a convenient drive-thru. When you visit us, you are treated as a neighbor, not a number. It's not just our slogan, but our culture. We're investing in our patients, local schools, and community. For over 5 years now, we have established ourselves as an independently family-run pharmacy that isn't driven by corporate goals. We are driven by what is best for your overall health and wellness. We're conveniently located so you don't have to make the drive. Prescription drugs are just the tip of the iceberg. We also offer natural remedies, essential oils, at-home medical needs such as walkers, rollators, bath accessories, as well as wound care products. And coming soon, basic urgent care services. What makes us better than other drugstores out there? When you frequent Baileyton Drug, you will receive professional, courteous, and friendly service that goes above and beyond any other pharmacy in the area. Remember, you're a neighbor, not a number.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect. Games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greenville, expect the unexpected. Low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at gatewaynissangreenville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greenville.
For over 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has proudly served the Tri-Cities with a personal touch because we're not just plumbers, we're family. From simple faucet repairs to full plumbing repiping, we have the experience and expertise to get the job done right. We also specialize in water heater and tankless water heater installations, helping you find the perfect solution for your home. Our technicians stand behind their work and always leave your space clean and spotless. Looking for a plumber who's fast, professional, and reliable? Call Tommy's Plumbing and let our family take care of yours.
Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Jamey Palmer Show, where we cover everything out here on the Diamond Tundra with the North Greene Huskies baseball team. As always, I'm joined here with North Greene head coach Jamey Palmer. I joked about it with Coach Weems this week. He told me last year that I needed to add North Greene green to my color wheel because I wear a different color polo every week. So yeah. I'm debuting the North Greene green for the first time on the Jamey Palmer Show. I think I've worn it on every North Greene show by now. So I'm glad to add that North Greene green to my color wheel. It's been missing for 4 years. It's good to have it.
Good, Ty. It looks good on you. Glad you could come out and be with us
It
today.
fits comfortably too.
Yes, yes.
Let's look at the road ahead. Another county series this week. You started one with West Greene last week that you'll continue later in the season, and you play South Greene back-to-back nights, kind of like you do a conference series, and I like that. You host them on Thursday and then travel down to South Greene on Friday. So when you play a pair of games against the Rebels late this week, what do you expect?
I mean, for us, we just got to go play clean baseball, and I think that's where we're struggling a little bit right now. We're having a few issues on the bases with some of our younger guys, and I will try to clean that up. You know, in today's practice, we'll work on a few things to try to get ready for South Greene. I know they're going to be ready. They're hungry out there for. I think they've already got one win, so you know I'm sure they're looking for number 2. You know, and they'll probably give us their best, and then we've got to do our best to clean things up, put the ball in play, get the runners in when we get them on, and just overall play good North Greene baseball.
And then looking at Monday also, you alluded to it in the back half, playing that pivotal conference series with Unaka on Monday and Friday. On Monday, you start the series in Stony Creek at Unaka to start a series that will really ultimately decide where you finish in the final conference standings. So going into Monday, what's your mindset going into that important game with the Rangers?
Well, that's one, you know, playing up there in the last several years, you know, a lot of these places you go to, and I would think other coaches would say the same thing. When you go on the road, sometimes it's tough, you know, playing at, you know, another facility. So, and to me personally, I feel like Unaka is one of those places, you know, going into their territory and trying to come out with a win, sometimes it's tough for us. So I'm hoping our guys are really mentally, you know, focused and ready to play, and they understand, you know, what's at stake.
How much would a sweep mean to your season to get one over Unaka next week?
That would be good for us, Tyler. I think, you know, with these 2 games this week and the 2 district games on Monday, Friday next week, and then the following week we would have Cloudland coming in. I think that would really, we've got a chance to really start a streak maybe, you know, if everything goes good and we do what we're supposed to do, you know, pitch, throw strikes, catch the baseball behind our pitchers, help those guys out, and just get runners in, get them across the plate, you know, get them home. And, you know, sometimes you have to sacrifice some things. So, you know, I'm super proud of these guys. You know, granted, as a coach, you would like to see them do things a little better. And that's what we're going to try to work on today.
Let's talk about the brackets now. Our brackets, they're dead.
Man, Yeah.
UConn killed us both.
You're right, Tyler. That's tough for our guys. You know, I really thought Tom Izzo, this was his year, and me being somewhat a Tom Izzo guy, back when I coached basketball, I got a lot of information from him. I really thought this was his year. He was going to win this whole thing and just say, guys, I'm done. I'm going out on top. But I saw one of his interviews, and he said he still has things to accomplish. So guess what? I'll get to cheer for him next year.
Put Michigan State down in that national championship bubble in next year's bracket.
Yeah.
It's sad. I saw a graphic of the Sweet 16 head coaches by age, and it's sad knowing that some of the ones that I've grown up watching and that you've watched your entire life are at the end of their careers. I know Izzo's up, he may be in the 70s now.
Yeah,
I know Rick Barnes is in his 70s.
Yep.
Kelvin Sampson is in his 70s. Rick Pitino is in his 70s. Coach Calipari is 67. Brad Underwood with Illinois is in his 60s. So, and Bill Self is, I think, late 50s, early 60s. So it's sad to see them get up there in age, but UConn just
they find a way,
killed us both.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Tyler, you're talking about a lot of those older coaches. You know, sometimes I look back and think it's kind of like baseball. If you've got a good squad, a good core group of 7, 8, 9 players, sometimes it's hard. The hardest thing you have to do is make out a lineup. You know, they're getting all these transfers in, maybe not as much at Michigan State, but other schools.
Yeah.
Getting all these guys in, maybe the hardest thing to do is figure out who they're going to put out on the floor. So, you know, I'm hoping Tennessee will get a couple good ones.
Tennessee might have a new head coach in the next few years also.
They may.
I don't know if this is it for him, but I see it coming to an end in the near future.
I feel like I think I read today somewhere where he's coming back next year. So, but yeah, I'd say you're right. Yeah.
Here's some commotion down there on the football field. Sounds like we're having some fun here at North Greene High School.
Yeah, I think they got those guys down there shoveling some sand or something.
I think maybe it was Calvin over there that was operating the tractor.
Yeah, could have been.
Calvin's the man around here.
Yeah. Have you been to West Greene yet?
Today,
Go
5
down
o'clock.
This evening?
Yep.
Tell Coach Sauceman I apologize that we had our game scheduled so early that the dandelions have just now started to rise up.
Whenever I was setting up the tripod and I was mentally preparing for the interview, I thought, yes, West Greene's on that list of games we need to talk about. I wonder if Allie got to come out here and see her dandelions. And I looked and I saw there were a few. I didn't know if they were out
There
yet.
wasn't many when we played the other day, and then the last couple of days they have really turned on. So we'll have to get Calvin to get us some kind of dandelion weed and feed or something. Make it look good up here.
But Coach, I believe that's all we got this week, unless there's anything else you've got to add.
Tyler, I appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the sponsors.
Absolutely, and we'll go through the games one more time just to let everybody know. On Thursday and Friday, you do have a non-conference county series with South Greene starting here at home on Thursday afternoon, I believe. Let's see what the times are in those. On Thursday at 5:30, and then on Friday at South Greene. Special start time on Good Friday at 1 o'clock. We failed to mention that earlier, so don't show up at the normally scheduled time, or you might just find the coaches raking the field afterwards. And then on Monday at Unaka, 5:30 in that one. So Thursday, hosting South Greene, 5:30. Friday at South Greene, 1 o'clock. Monday at Unaka, 5:30. Go out and support the Huskies, Coach. That's all I got for you this
Tyler,
week.
appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Jamey Palmer Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.